Hey guys, my name is Karud and welcome back to Octane Streets, road here on YouTube that never ends. And today I'm going to be changing out the stock tail lights on my 2006 Mustang GT. Now I do want to make this video a quick one because the install only calls for 30 minutes according to American Muscle's website and YouTube. So I'm going to try and bang it out in 30 minutes. I already did a little bit of prep work beforehand, but before I say any more, what do you say we check out what I got and then get to cracking on the install. Alright, so here we have our box of goodies, and like I said beforehand, I did a little bit of prep work. The taillights that I ended up going with are the sequential style and pattern taillights. Now there's a plethora of taillights to choose for the S197 Mustangs. However, I went with one that, as you guys can see, is very similar and resembling to the stock ones that come on these 05 to 09 Mustangs. And the reason why I did that is quite simple. I fell in love with this car just the way it was back in 06, 05 rather. And part of the reason why I fell in love with this car is because of these taillights. So for me personally, while there are a ton of great looking taillights for this vehicle, I wanted someone that stays close to stock. Of course, it's a little bit tinted and smoked out, but for me, having that purity of the car and having it look almost OEM, but a little bit better, is kind of what I'm going for. Again, I love the styling in every way, so why would I change it? Really cool, and I'm glad to have gotten that. So what this did come with is the actual sequential taillight harness, which is this right here, and I bought some new bulbs for all the taillights and reverse lights just so that everything could be brand new. And they're pretty cheap, so why not replace it if I'm already replacing these taillights. So I slapped the harness in, slapped the bulbs on, and now all we got to do is put these bad boys in instead of those stock ones, and we'll be good to go. Alright guys, so I have my panel trim removal tool. It's a metal one. I can't find my plastic one right now, so all I'm going to do is pop these bad boys off to get this guard off. There's a couple over here as well. Alright, so I took a few of them off. I already had some off from before just to make this a little bit easier. And so once all these are off, I could go ahead and take this guard off. Alright, so now that that's gone, we have access to pretty much all the bolts we need. Oh, I almost forgot one more. All the way up here. Come on. There we go. And if that one wants to stay in the carpet, that's completely fine with me. Let me go ahead and move you guys here. Alright, so now we have access to all the screws we need to take off in order to get our tail light out. Now I'm using an 11mm deep socket. The American Muscle video says to use a 10mm deep socket, but I don't know if my screws are not OEM, but 11 is the perfect fit. So once you crack it, you can kind of just take it off by hand, which is always a little bit faster. And just like that, we can go ahead and take this bad boy off. Just like that, the old taillight is out. Now we can go ahead and replace it with a new one. Alright guys, so I have one of the taillights in my hand here, and I just wanted to talk about a couple of disparities that I'm having versus what I was shown in the American Muscle install video for this product. And just because I like to keep it 100 with you guys and let you guys know what to expect if you were to buy it maybe. So one of the inconveniences that I've experienced so far is that on the back of the wiring harness, in the video they say they put little stickers to label them 1, 2, 3 so that you know which order to install them in, so that the tail light actually lights up 1, 2, 3 accordingly. And in the video theirs did have little tiny stickers that said 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately mine that came to Canada, it got shipped to Canada, it does not have those indicators or numbers. And now it's not really a big deal, but it just means that before I tighten it down, I really got to make sure I put the car on and test them out to make sure all of these are in the correct order, which isn't a big deal. And another thing I noticed that they didn't mention at all in the video is this little, I believe it's a little resistor. I might be sounding or looking really stupid calling it that because it might not be a resistor, but I believe it's an electrical resistor. And I know for the Raxium Halo fog lights, it comes with one of these as well, and you're supposed to mount it in a certain way to the vehicle so that it doesn't burn through any plastics. Now this one is a little bit smaller than the Halo fog lights, but this is also a Raxium product, and so it has me worrying if this needs to be mounted in a specific way as well, which just as a precaution I'm going to mount it anyway. But again, in the video they did not mention it or talk about it at all, so just wanted to give you guys a heads up, and I'll show you guys what I end up doing with this resistor and how I end up mounting it, and we'll see if I have any problems down the road pretty much. So with that out of the way, I think it's about time that we connect this to the car, turn it on, and see if these are in the correct order before completely installing it back. Alright, so to give you guys a side-by-side comparison, I just finished installing the left one, and this is what it looks like. So I don't know about you guys, but I definitely am loving how the left side looks. That smoke is perfect. And honestly, the silver trim bezel, I was never a fan of trim bezels on taillights for any car, but when I actually saw the car in person, I'm like, oh, it doesn't actually look too bad. But they are super worn out, so they were kind of deteriorating the look of my car. But now these black, sleek, smoked out taillights look absolutely perfect. And then of course, if I step on that brake pedal, you're gonna go ahead and see the difference of them lighting up sequentially. So let's go ahead and tackle the other side, and then I got a small little secret at the end for you guys as well. Alright, so we got the second one off in about a minute and a half, which is exactly what I like to see. Let's go ahead and slap the new one in. Just like that, they are both done. Can you go ahead and get the lights for me?
So bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.